Well, hello, good afternoon, good morning, good evening, wherever you're watching us from. This is Wasabi1 bringing you the CLOGCAST Community Development Q&A for Natural Selection 2. And today I am joined by none other than, of course, my partner in crime, Mr. Abraxas.
Hello.
Who's joining us from his kitchen whilst he cooks a glorious meal. And
yes, I slave away.
our special guest today, he's extra special, really. Mr. McGlaspy, one of our lead programmers. McGlaspy, welcome.
Yo.
Now, this is McGlaspy's real first time on a Q&A for NS2, so be gentle and ask as many hard questions as you possibly can, because we love to hear him try to layman term explain them. Well, welcome everybody. You know, it's been a few weeks since we did our last CLOGCAST, and there's been a lot going on, which is kind of one of the reasons why we haven't done a CLOGCAST. Part of what's been happening is we've been hard at work at build 267. 267 has been churning in the build process for quite some time now, and there's a lot of things happening with it. So before we dive into that, we'd like to welcome some of our new team members, because we're always expanding the CDT. And Abraxas, just because I know I will totally screw up the names, can you tell us who our three new members are?
Yeah, sure. We've got Clone Death, who's going to be working on editor stuff, possibly Linux and OpenGL. We've got Murray, who's going to be working on Linux development as well. And I'm just pulling up the last one now because I can't pronounce his name.
Slizzers?
Slizzers. Let's call him Slithers.
No, it's Slizzers, isn't it? All right, so we all screwed up. We all just ruined that.
Slizzard. Like an
Slizzard. There we go. Slizzard. So welcome to the team. You know, like we said, we're always expanding the team, looking for great people to help contribute to Natural Selection 2. And let's take off of what Abby said there. Some of you probably picked on it pretty quick. That's Linux. We have not forgotten about you, our dear Linux friends. Linux support, we're hoping to bring some support. I know that even today, Matzo has been looking at the Linux build, trying to figure out what exactly is not working. Trying to take care of those things. And, you know, two, if not all three of these members in some way will be contributing to our Linux builds in the future, correct?
Oh, yeah. The guys are going to be cranking on the Linux build. Clone Death specifically was brought on to work on the tools and the editor. So I would suggest if you guys have any ideas that you want in, look on the forums.
Right. So it's going to be exciting. We are hoping that having some real Linux programmers on board will also open up other opportunities. Hint, hint, wink, wink. Mac port, maybe? Yes, I said it.
Yeah, there's a chance.
There's a chance, you know.
No guarantees.
No guarantees, but wouldn't that be pretty amazing? I think it'd be pretty amazing. But, so there you go, folks. Linux support, we're not throwing you away. We love the fact that we, you know, have the potential to run again on Linux, and we want to be able to do that. We know that the Linux server is working well, and that has been big for a lot of server ops. So just putting that out there. Stay tuned. If you use the Linux build yourself, you know, please visit our forums. And, you know, that's a perfect opportunity to talk a little bit more about the forums too. This is a great place for us to gain feedback, answer questions that you might have, ideas that you've got. You know, this 267 has come a lot from things we've been reading in the forums, things we've been seeing from the games, questions that people have been asking us. And again, we're here to provide a better NS2 experience for you, as well as for new people that may come on board. And I think a great thing about that is, you know, in the last Steam summer sale, we sold a lot of copies of NS2. And, you know, we saw some bump ups there, and we've had pretty good concurrent numbers again for a little while. And we're hoping to just keep building on that, working on the game, stabilizing the game, and doing whatever we can to make sure that everybody's having an enjoyable experience playing NS2. And so that I think I'm gonna bring McGlaspie in now because I think this is the fun part. So McGlaspie, I'm gonna leave it up to you. Do you want to talk about Indecent first, or would you like to talk about the experimental stuff?
It's your call, man.
All right, so let's go ahead and talk about Indecent. And why do we call it Indecent? Well, Matzo has been hard at work on solving some of the hitching issues that have plagued so many of our users for so long. And, well, the stuff he's come up with is so smooth that it's practically indecent. So that's why we call it that. It might only be funny to us people, but, you know, hopefully you guys get that too. So, thank you, Mendas. Let's talk about that. I'm going to go ahead and bring up the graphic too from the perf analyzer that just kind of shows the before and after. But McGlaspie is going to explain a little bit about what we're doing here so that you get an idea of what to expect in 2.6.7.
Sure. One of the biggest problems in the past has been all the various files that the game has to load. So as you're running along, playing the game, suddenly it goes, oh, I need this extra graphic for the GUI. And so it actually has to hit your hard drive, so you lose some time there where it's loading it. And so what we've done is actually find all those occurrences and then pre-cache those so you don't get the little system input-output hitches that were happening from loading the files. Now, we haven't gotten all of them yet, but we're definitely getting there. The big thing is to get them out of the main process of the game, the main thread.
So what is the thing that most people could really notice from this? I mean, Joe Schmo that's going to jump in and start playing the game, what is he immediately going to take away from this?
So, in a lot of cases in the past, something you haven't seen in the game yet, like you're playing as a Marine and you haven't seen a lurk, and you get that little hitch when it's loading its assets for that. That goes away.
And as you can see in the graphs that we have up on the screen provided to you from our Twitter feed, don't forget to follow us at NS2CDT for fun updates and facts like this. You can see that, there are quite a big spike jumps as assets are being loaded throughout a game or throughout an instance that he's testing here. And then after his patch, you can see that the spikes have drastically either dropped or are almost non-existent in his loading there. So we've been testing it. We've been playing with it. We are all very excited at what we've seen, and Matzo needs to be absolutely, patted on the back and praised from on high for everything that he's been doing here, because this is pretty awesome work. Would you say that, obviously this is probably not still an end-all fix to hitching, but this has definitely put a nice big knife into it, correct?
Oh, yeah. Yeah, and we haven't done all occurrences of it yet, and there's other areas that we can optimize as well that we haven't gotten to yet.
And this is part
more
of
to come.
Oh, go ahead. Sorry, McGlaspie.
No, I was just going to say there's more to come.
Yeah, this is where we're headed. All the programmers have really been tasked with nothing is sacred. Go look at all of it. What is there now? What can be done to fix it? How can we optimize it? Because we know that there is no, magical, mystical fix for everything anymore, right? There's no one thing that will drastically change the performance of NS2 forever. So
yeah, you'll never see a magic patch.
Yeah, so what we're talking about here is the CDT's approach to performance. Find the little things that can create a smoother and consistent performance overall, so that as you're playing the game, there are less and less of those, oh my god, I'm just tanking in my performance now.
Exactly, and even people with high enough frame rates will notice the significant change in hitching, because people have complained that, NS2 doesn't feel like the frame rate that it says it is. Well, this will help that.
Yeah, it's quite interesting, and I think people that don't have SSDs and things like that will also see an improvement as well. I know that I think Matzo was joking the other day that he was trying to boot up on a 5400 RPM hard drive to really kind of impact his testing and see what he was doing.
I actually ordered an old hard drive for this purpose.
So this is one of the great things that we look forward to showing you guys in 267. I hope you're as excited about this as we are, because things like this are exactly why we put this team together to help continuing development of NS2. Which brings us to our second thing, which is also a Matzo patch. We're kind of calling it an experimental patch to 267. And can anybody spot the differences in this picture for the net stats that you may not see in your current game as you're playing? Anybody? Give it a couple seconds here for people to look at it. It's fun when you see all of our CDT members all answering questions and making fun of each other. Such a professional
we needed some elevator music for this.
Yeah. So let's just kind of look at this for a second. I think the real thing you can take away here is specifically the server tick rate is listed at 49.79, which means that it's using a base of 50 ticks. McGlaspie? That's crazy.
Oh yeah, it's crazy.
What are the things that are happening here that we're not seeing, by the way? Because it's not just the tick rate that's altered in this particular experiment.
No, there's 4 major components to this. That's move rate, interpolation, server tick rate, and server send rate. And all of those were adjusted in the shot you see there.
So, you know, what benefit do we get from, say, running the server at 50 ticks instead of 30?
Well, tick rate is how often the game world, so max, whips, hives, research, and all that kind of stuff is updated.
But because we're increasing the server rate, that's why all these other kind of variables come into play as well, correct?
Yeah. Yeah, because you can't just change one and go, oh, yep, we're good, because they're all symbiotic to one another.
In this particular instance, can you give us a breakdown of what settings we had the server set at?
See, we tried a whole bunch of different ones. I'm trying to remember on this shot. I believe the send rate was 50, tick rate was 50, interpolation was 60 milliseconds, and the move rate was 40.
Yeah, so obviously, you know, doubling the network rate as well was probably a big deal. And one of the things that we want to say in relation to this, why we continue to say that it's experimental, we're running this on an overclocked, you know, crazy optimized server. So its experience on other boxes will vary. We're working on a nice way to execute this in the public build when it comes out that will allow the server operators. I think we've all kind of decided this is the way we want to do it, but allowing the server operators to choose from a certain amount of presets that will automatically adjust the other values based on the preset that you choose.
Yep. And ideally, we want to take it to the point of being able to say, on this type of CPU, this is what we recommend. So on and so forth. Yeah.
So again, experimental. This is something that we're trying for 267. It will be out there for... I have to say it, I'm very interested to see what Wooza's server is going to do when he adjusts this. Because I know that 40-player server is totally going to take advantage of this.
Well, they're mostly running into, although the server dips down, I played on it today actually, the server dips down to around 22 to 25 at times when it's near end game, and also it hits a lot of choke towards the end game, so I think this might help alleviate some of that.
Right, especially, you know, being able to adjust the network variables as well, I think will help. What are the implications of changing the interpolation?
Well, and you have to understand why it's there first. Interpolation is essentially a artificially induced lag, if you will, but don't take that literally. to give the server and the prediction component of the client time to process all the various network packets that it's pushing back and forth. Because otherwise, if you don't have that sort of gray area to blend and process that data, you'll end up with really bad hitching. And I'm sure thinking back to like Quake 2, Quake 1, Half-Life 1 era, people have experienced that before, where a player just looks like they're going in and out of existence every other frame.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we definitely saw that with some of our testing. You know, we had, I think we were doing, was it like 8v8 when we were testing this on Thursday?
At one point, yeah.
Yeah, and so when we were testing it, one of the things that that we were doing was, you know, just kind of running around, and we'd hear like one or two people like, "Oh my God, that person's hitching so much," but then a bunch of us would be running over there and be like, "They're not hitching at all." So there is still some implications for maybe high ping users, still the lower end machines. You know, again, this is very experimental. We just want to continue to say that this is in the extreme testing phase for people. But definitely shows some great signs of progress towards the future. So we definitely look forward to getting people's feedback and comments about this when it gets released with 2.6.7. Did you want to add anything else to that, Avi or McGlaspie?
I just wanted to remind people that our public Trello is online, and you can go and have a look and see what's left to be worked on and see our notes for everything, and also vote on future stuff once 2.6.7 is out the door as well.
Yeah, definitely please vote on that so we know what you guys want.
Yeah, I'm actually going to go ahead and bring that up right now. Start a nice little new window here. If you haven't already seen it, we have a public Trello board that is accessible to anybody really out there. You can just click on the link in the forums, or you can even search for it on Trello. It's called NS2 CDT Development Tracker. You can see that we've got, you know, to-do lists for future builds, possibly. That means that these, right now it says plus 2.6.8. These are items that just did not make it into 2.6.7 before we did our code lockdown, which, you know, it happens. When you see that the list here for what's been fixed for 2.6.7, you can see why we missed a couple things. We're a little busy. So this is a great way for people in the public to be able to check out what we've been working on, what is going in the game. You can even go in and vote on things. Like, you know, like right here, McGlaspie's got this thing in, you know, fixed for stage 3. But I could come in here as a member of the public and I can vote on this and say, yes, I love this, work on this, put more resources behind it. This is something we want right now. So check it out. This
and you
is,
can see that the list is quite extensive in the completed area.
Absolutely. This is, you know, this is our way of really kind of being open. I mean, there are a few things that are kind of hidden in the background of things that we don't want to put out there until we are sure that they've been tested and so forth. And obviously we're not putting exploit fixes in the public that, you know, I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know about them already, but, you know, when those get submitted, those stay in a public, private area for us so that we can, you know, take care of those and move forward towards the patch with them. But this is a great opportunity for you guys to stay in touch with us in between these CLOGCasts to get an idea of what's going on. And so that's just going to take us even more back into 2.6.7. Abhi, can you tell us some of the highlights about 2.6.7?
There's quite a lot. I'm quite... yeah.
I did that on purpose. I'm sorry.
That was just mean, man.
I'm kind of looking forward to seeing the graphics choice settings with the texture lockdown, seeing what the public do with that and how it affects them.
Oh, you know, that's a great thing too. And I think, you know, that's the benefit of having someone like McGlaspie here with us as well. McGlaspie, can you talk to us about texture lock?
Well, sure. Texture lock is basically ran into a condition where the video card and the game itself were in conflict. So the device would be locked, so part of the game had to wait until the device was unlocked so data could be streamed back to it. There's various things we've done to solve that, like taking advantage of texture streaming and dynamic memory allocations, so it doesn't try to eat up more video memory than you actually have, which makes a pretty big difference.
So especially with people maybe running at like 1 gigabyte graphics cards and things like that, this will help their experience a little bit more.
Oh yeah.
Awesome. We've got, of course, Decoy, our favorite deputy PT lead. Talk about whips. Okay, guys. Whips, I think, have been the bane of most people's Alien play for quite some time now. They sort of work. They sort of don't work. They do wonky stuff. Whips have been kind of getting a rewrite from the ground up. Again, this is something that Matzo's been working on, and more recently assisted by like 2 or 3 of the other programmers just kind of looking over stuff and helping to take care of a lot of the animation problems. This patch will probably be a significantly better experience in regards to whips than you're used to. We're not going to say that they're completely fixed, but there are a lot of positives out of what we've seen in our testing, as far as as far as how they're going to be used in gameplay moving forward.
Yep, still a ways to go, but they're a lot better.
Oh, they actually hit things.
Oh yeah, hit things, throw biles. Yeah, they're not just taking up space now.
So, other neat things with 2.6.7, we've got a lot of more features from NS2 Plus being integrated directly into vanilla NS2, which we're really excited about. Mindasp is always happy and hard at work to improve the game and do a lot of the visual updates. One of the neat things that's been implemented that you've probably already seen in NS2 Plus is dropped weapons timer. There's actually a timer bar now that will show you when a weapon drops how much time it has before it disappears, which is really beneficial for some people when they run into a room and say there's like a shotgun on the floor, and they need to be able to go, oh my god, oh my god, oh my god. I'm shooting things, but wait, that shotgun's about to disappear. Let's save that shotgun. That's important gameplay. That's the micro stuff, people. The important micro about this game. Mindas also saying in chat.
Enables micro.
Yeah, Mindas enable micro. He's also saying that the redness. I'm guessing. I think he's talking about something that they were talking about in chat today, which I'm not 100% certain what that is. But yes, colored outline weapons. I'm huge proponent of this. I've been waiting for like outlines on mines and weapons and stuff. So that's going to be great to have that in the game as well. The other thing that is really neat is the kill feed has been updated. So look forward to that. I guess we could say whenever you kill something, you will finally get that indicator up in the kill feed that's not just saying you killed someone, but actually it circles it in red so that visually as you're playing, you're getting that hint out of your peripheral vision that, yes, I just did kill that thing in front of me, and you're not getting confused. Because there are a lot of people in the vanilla right now that don't turn off, the assisted kill points and things like that. And so it can get kind of confusing sometimes when you're in a pretty intense fight, thinking that you got that final shot because there's a number value coming up at you, but you're not. So
we got one more thing as well to help with kills coming in, haven't we? But it's not quite polished yet.
Which one's that?
The audio.
That's right. Hit sounds are going to be making an appearance in 2.6.7. Again, people that are using NS2 Plus right now are probably used to a lot of these features we're talking about and are like, what's new? What's new? But this is important because there's a lot of people that don't play on NS2 Plus, and these are great features that definitely should be in the vanilla game. It's not red? Did they change it?
Yeah, we changed it. Yeah, it's blue for Marines and yellow for aliens. Yellow-orange.
I like
it.
It's
red. Also worth... It's also worth mentioning about the hit sounds that there is an independent volume slider for it. So if it bugs you, you can just mute it.
Yeah, and we're still very much testing the hit sound itself, because the one we have right now sounds like you're killing a little squishy plush toy out of a vending machine. It's pretty bad. But we're going to be making some adjustments to that. And again, those options will be available. Have we decided where they're going to be in the menu? Did we decide finally it's going to be in the sound
probably
tab?
Sound.
Okay.
It's under sounds.
All right. So under sounds, you'll be able to, hit sounds, I guess technically are always enabled, and it's just a matter of how loud the volume is. So you can either...
it's by default, it's mute. By default, you just slide it up and you can hear it.
So we look forward to you guys playing with that. I have to say that it's interesting how much better, like personally, I've become at tracking things based on those sounds. It's helping me, really dial in my shots as a Marine better. So interesting. Let's see if there's any other fun thing in here that we want to talk about. Again, all this stuff is public, guys. Visit, the Trello page for the NS2 CDT development tracker. Let's go ahead and put that link in chat. Does someone have that? Yeah, I've got it actually because I got it up.
Actually, McGillespie can talk a bit about the physics stuff.
Yeah, I was just about to say that.
Great.
Yeah, probably one of the more expensive things that has to happen as far as how long it takes to render a frame is updating models and more specifically all the coordinates and vertices and all that fancy rendering crap to change from one animation frame to the next. Before that was happening in one thread, so you get a little delay from that. And now you can go in and say, I want multi-threading on, and actually specify I want 2 cores to use it, 3 cores, whatever your hardware supports. And what that ends up doing is saving a lot of CPU time for the rest of the game.
So just one more thing of these little items that we're trying to do to help smooth out the already existing experience. Because
the good thing about that is if you have a quad core, you end game, you will notice a decent difference. I think we registered up to 25% more FPS if you're CPU bound.
Yep.
Good question coming in here. I understand that you need new hit sound for vanilla NS2, but will you be able to choose the old sounds from NS2 Plus as well, or does the server need to run NS2 Plus? Well, you as a client, I believe, can run NS2 Plus. It doesn't require the server to run it. But I think Mindas will be easier. Yeah, Mindas is saying that NS2 Plus will stay the same. And yeah, he will. He'll continue to do... we continue to do more work on, integrating these features. So again, if hit sounds don't sound good, we want feedback. We want ideas as to how to tweak them. We're still working on them very actively before release to make sure that they are in a place where we all like them. And let's see, won't there be copyright problems? And I think that's the main reason that we aren't using the hit sound that's in NS2 Plus, because I believe it's from another game, isn't it?
Yeah, it's got a couple of them in there.
Yeah. All right. Well, gentlemen, is there anything else that you guys want to talk about?
I just want to say that we've now increased our programmers to, I think it's about 11 or 12, which is actually around twice as many as when NS2 was in active development by Unknown Worlds. So, yeah, it's a lot.
And, the point to make about that as well is the fact that, again, all of these people are volunteering their time to do this. I don't, people think that, I think everybody thinks that their community is awesome and that, they're the best of the best. But I really feel confident in saying that NS2 really has one of the best communities in the sense that look at how many people are donating all of this time and effort and energy into, still improving the complete experience for NS2. And we cannot say thank you to these guys enough. We're hoping that one day we'll be able to find some way to make sure that we can, repay them for their efforts somehow. Maybe it's a candy bar. Maybe it's a t-shirt. Maybe it's something. But,
Nice.
I mean, we appreciate you. People like McGillespie. I appreciate you, McGillespie.
Wow, free candy bars.
Yeah.
Worth it.
Right? And you weren't expecting the candy bar, so you'd love it.
No, man, oh man, you just made my week.
And it's going to be $100,000 candy bar, so yeah. So, really, guys, check out the Trello. Follow us on the forums. Give us your feedback. 267, we can tell you, is in the final stages. I'm not going to give you an exact release date, but it is coming very soon. You guys can take with that what you will based on our previous patch releases, what that means. We will not release it until we are confident it is stable and is not introducing any major new bugs. And I think that 266 has a great track record for that. So we want to keep that up. And I think that's all I've got to talk about today.
We should probably open the floor to questions.
Yeah. So do we have any questions from the chat out there? Any things that you guys want to know about or have any interest in? I do need music for this, don't I?
Yeah.
McGlaspie, will you do the Jeopardy theme song, please?
Jeopardy? No, I don't know it.
Is there a new skill system
actually,
in 267?
Yeah. That's what we can talk about, the new skill system.
Go ahead, Abby, take it.
Well, okay, so in the server browser, you'll notice in the future there is a new column for skill, whereby if there's an equal sign there, it means it's equal to your personal skill. If it's got a minus sign, it means there are players... I think that's right?
Yep. In all honesty, yeah, I'm probably not the best to ask about that because it confuses me. No. I'm going to go ahead and actually show people what it looks like.
Yeah, if you've got less, if the server that you want to join has less skill on than you, it will have a minus, and if it's a higher skilled server, it will have pluses next to it, and that's based off Hive stats.
Yeah, so you can see here on screen right now, you've got the green bars, the red bars, the yellow bars. Somewhere it will explain that somewhere. But yeah, so I guess a better way to say this is actually that the Hive skill system is actually kind of a whole new system now. It's using all new algorithms and so forth. So the way it's going to track your skill is going to be much different than what you have seen before. So that is something that will be explained a lot more in detail once it comes out. Yes, but this one isn't broken.
This is based off, I can't remember his name, begins with an M, but he's a Google engineer. He wrote an algorithm for the new skill system, and it's been implemented by Lucas at Unworlds as a basis of the whole new thing.
Right, and also, yep. Samus Droid helped out a lot with working on this as well.
Yeah, and one of the nice things about it is the core system can basically be added onto by, conceptually speaking, modules. And we've got those modules turned off, but we can add those later. To your channel. And they give you greater granularity of how the system functions internally, so you can get more emphasis on one thing or less, and so on and so forth.
And we've actually got Samus Droid here with us right now. That might be able to talk a little bit more about what's really changed in the skill system, and also say a big thank you to Multano. Brian?
Brilliant.
All right, well, that was Samus Droid.
That's Samus Droid, everyone. Woo!
Yeah, so as I mentioned in the chat, server tick rate is now averaged in a skill browser. So, like, poorly performing servers won't be 100%, which is good.
Okay, so it's going to take in... There's, in other words, a lot of things that are kind of changing in this is that it's taking into account the performance of the server and a lot of other variables to better average out your skill levels, correct?
To put it simply, yes.
Okay. All right. Well, that's pretty exciting. Again, all sorts of fun little things going into 267. The changelog, as I believe it right now, is somewhere around
10 pages.
Well, I don't think it's that long, but it's pretty long.
Mine's
it's 10 pages.
All right, so
actually 10 pages.
Wasabi's going to have so much fun when it comes to formatting that bad boy for WordPress. All right, any other questions out there in Twitch land ask them now. You've got quite a few people in here. Again, you got Abraxas, who is the co-lead of the CDT with me. You got McGlaspy, who's one of our lead programmers, as well as Mr. Samus Droid, who you will see his photo a lot tagged with things in 267. He's kind of our go-to, I'll fix that, is his answer to everything. So Samus is very, very active. Let's put it that way. Let's see. Okay, Mindasp asking inappropriate questions. Thank you, Mindasp. When do I get my Shadow Onos? Should I talk about this, Abby?
Yep.
Okay, so one of the things that we are currently working on is more skins, more customization, more, should I say, DLC. This will be coming soon. I would not expect it in 267, but I would say that very soon you can expect to see a lot more options for the visuals related to models in the game that will be available to you. And the Shadow Onos is absolutely one of those things. Desther123, are you guys aware of the exploit where you F4 and rejoin and get 20 res back? Well, I thought
It's a long-known bug.
Okay. I thought we'd fix that, though. Dictator93, I find the FXAA in-game and FXAA in general to be not great for NS2's visual and gameplay. Can we see SMAA in the future? And McGlaspy, considering the fact that you and I have been talking about this, I think it's probably best for you to answer this question.
Sure. Yeah, what he's asking about is anti-aliasing. And the short and sweet answer is yes. I've been looking into that just this past week.
Commander Keen, I've had 30 FPS. Will I have 150 FPS? The short answer to that is no, of course not, Commander Keen. But you are less likely to have major dips in your performance in general. Just remember, guys, there is only so much optimizing that can be done to increase your frame rates at this point. I'm going to say this, and I'm going to be hated. I know it. Avi's even probably going to yell at me afterwards, but I'm going to say it. People that are playing on Core 2 Duos or first-gen i-Series CPUs, I don't think there's really anything more that we're going to be able to do to help you gain better performance. The game is where it is for those people. I mean, it's only going to go so far. You can only put so much power behind your setup to increase performance in that rate.
When you're talking about things that old, there are bottlenecks all over the system at that age. So, you might see an increase in FPS in this patch and future ones, but it will be maybe 5-10%. It's going to be tiny.
Sad but true.
DM Buyer, how about netcode DAT hitbox? Sad face.
Are they too good? Or
I don't think people would complain about too good.
Well, the only real glaring issue that we've got surrounding that kind of stuff, specifically at boxes, is during animation transitions. And that's on my personal to-do list, but it's still a ways off.
From what Iron Horse and I have discovered, it's more of a server-client desync rather than them changing. What will happen is you'll register it yourself, but the person you hit won't actually register it.
All right. Are these new skins microtransactions? Lucknut Skill, the answer to that is essentially yes. I mean, I think there'll be some that we include just to have some variables in there for you, but there will also be some microtransactions that we're hoping to integrate in the game as smooth as possible. And the idea behind that is the microtransactions are going to be used for future funding models potentially for other events or other type of content and things like that. So it's a way to, you know, bolster the community even more off of those sales, directly tying them into
like trying to get another world championship on the go, stuff like that.
Yeah, you know, I mean, and there's a lot of other fun things that are down the pipeline. You know, we've been talking about Gorge plushies on and on and on and on and on and on. And I can tell you that the second prototype has left China, and it is on the way to me right now. It's a smaller version of the one that you guys have all seen. We're trying to bring that price down a little bit, but still make a cool quality plushie. So be looking for that. Anything that we do in DLC you can't hold me to this because I am not Unknown Worlds, but in some of the conversations that have happened so far, I think we're thinking that the DLC will be a direct kind of funding mechanism for stuff related to NS2, whereas like sales for NS2 right now are obviously going to UWE and supporting their company. So there will be, you know, kind of those two sides of it, which we think is really great moving forward, and awesome that they're even, you know, considering that as an option for us. Arrow Ripper, Wasabi, are you guys planning to redo the main menu eventually? I saw something in Trello about it a while ago. Yes.
Yes, that's my personal mission to get that redesigned. For the near-ish future, it won't be anytime soon.
Yeah, you will see it when it's ready. And yes, Sam is saying waiting on concepts. There will be some concepts being done very shortly. And we're hoping to get that out to you soon. You know, again, we have to prioritize these. Again, people are volunteering their time and efforts, so we've got to make sure that we do that. So I imagine the Reinforced supporters still pay full price. Wonder how much I've spent on this game. Well, Reinforced was a totally different system, though. You know, that was more of a, you know, hey, support UWE for this big update they just did, an opportunity for you to get some cool stuff out of it. So you can't really compare microtransactions and reinforcement because I think they're two different things. So yeah. Okay. The Force Even Teams vote will use the new skill system. Is that correct?
Yes, that's Ghoul, one of the programmers in the chat. So yes, it will. It will contact Hive and base it on the skill level of the people on the server.
And I've gotten this question a couple times in private messages on the forums. A few people have asked, are we looking to implement any of the features from Shine into vanilla as well for menus and things like that in game that make a little bit more sense than, say, pressing X or whatever to do different options, for like map voting and stuff to kind of simplify that. We're always looking at that kind of stuff. We appreciate your guys' feedback on that. It's kind of put into our list of things to talk about. We discuss it as a team, and then we start putting together the wish list. And then Abraxas and I go through the wish list, and we move it all into approved for review by UWE. Then UWE goes through and looks at everything that we've talked about. They may make some changes or just say, looks great. And then we move it all in and we start production on the next build. So
I do have to say that Unknown Worlds have been exceptionally supportive with the CDT team and have been excellent to work with.
Yeah, they have put a lot of faith into this team to carry on their IP, and they have not been disappointed. The feedback we've gotten from them has been just amazing, and they are just thrilled with everything that has been coming out of the team. So, will the HMG come to vanilla NS2? It's
No.
funny you should mention that. Yeah, I mean, I'll immediately say no. I was playing the comp beta mod, which is they're testing out for the next season of the NSL, and I think they're even going to use it on the draft tournament that's going on. But it has implemented the heavy machine gun, And I was like, this is a pretty cool weapon, I mean, I like it a lot. And oh man, did I get shot down so fast. It can drastically change balance in the game as it is in vanilla. And since we are looking at some changes to balance in 268, we are not moving in the way of comp mod. And so, whether or not HMG works for vanilla build or not, in all honesty, the way it is right now, it probably won't. But who's to say? Somewhere down the road, it might be a possibility, but not right now. And Avi will fight me till I'm probably dead on that one.
Yes.
Something I want to answer real fast. Dictator 93 asked about SSR going into the game. I haven't looked into that, but I have been looking at improving graphics in general. Like one of the things I'm looking at is improving SSAO with something that Max's brother worked on called Alchemy AO, and hoping to get that in, as well as making shadows more efficient, so on and so forth. So I'll take a look, but no guarantees.
A question here about Onos Devour. No, that will not be coming into the vanilla. We're leaving that to the combat guys. If you have not seen the Q&A that we did last weekend with those guys, you can check it out at faultlinegames.com. The Onos Devour in NS2 combat is pretty awesome, but I think it fits for combat and not for vanilla. But there's something gratifying of killing the Onos and like literally flipping up a flap of Onos flesh and climbing out of him. It's pretty awesome. Any hand grenade changes? Nothing has really been discussed. But if you have any thoughts or questions about that, please go on the forum, start a nice thread specifically about grenades. We'd love to hear people's feedback on what they think of them right now. Again,
the
what?
animations actually work now.
Oh, well, there we go.
That is a thing.
See, Samus and his many fixes.
They Nerf gas grenades for female also won't crash the game anymore.
All right. So we're going to take 2 more questions. Just looking through the chat here. 2 more questions. Anybody? Bring them up. This is your opportunity to ask us anything. Whether we answer it or not to the way you like, that's something different. So stuff from comp mod comes into vanilla. No. I mean, the easy answer is no. What I'm saying is seeing how some of those changes affect things in comp mod is a great basis for looking at potential balance adjustments in vanilla, but I would not expect us to make any sweeping changes for quite a while. 268 will be light adjustments to certain items, and that's what you can expect in 268. What skins can we expect, and will you finish the Shadow Kodiak skins pack? We will be finishing the Shadow pack. As far as expanding more on the Kodiak pack, that's something we haven't really talked about, but I guess we could look into that moving forward for when we expect to get those in. What other skins can you expect? We've got Rantology working on that, so any of you guys that know Rantology know that she's going to come up with some really cool stuff, and we're hoping to have quite a few options for people so that it's not like, hey guys, we've got new DLC, it's one skin. We want to have quite a few options so that when it does become something that you're looking at, the likeliness of you seeing one option that you're going to like out of many is a lot better.
And we'll probably also price it relatively cheap in comparison, because we know that, it's an impulse buy that you want to go, oh, that looks so cool, I'll have it now, so it's not going to be insanely priced.
Sammy G probably has the best question of the night. When are we getting tactical nukes on a 10 kill killing spree? They're already in the game. We released that last night as a secret patch. So just go out, get on a 10 kill killing spree and let me know what you think.
It's funny because back in the days when NS2 was getting designed by Charlie, that was one of the weapons he actually wanted in the game. He was actually going to put
That's
in it,
right.
but he never got around to it.
Yeah, it was the nuke for Marines and the bacterium burst or something for aliens. Yep. Yeah.
Oh my lord, that was so long ago. Yeah.
Amusingly, I've been doing experiments on just those two concepts for MVM, so you might kind of be able to see it eventually.
Speaking of long time ago, we fixed a bug that was reported in February 2011, number 228, with material sounds when you hit a block.
For reference, that's bug number 228. We're now at, I think we're hitting bug 4000 now, is it?
6500.
No, yeah.
6500.
So we're not forgetting about old bugs. We have people that go through stage 1 all the time, looking at, the validity of some of those bugs still and cleaning it up and checking on things. So, that's what we're doing, guys. What about the game future? How do you want to introduce new players to game and make sure that they stay? We're constantly working on new things to help new players understand the game better when they pick it up and play it. And I can definitely say that in the next couple builds, you will be seeing more and more of that stuff if you go ahead and turn on your rookie mode and your tooltips and all those kind of things. We've got a lot of plans to help create a better experience for the new player to more quickly understand the game, including talk about working on tutorials more. And that's a lot of work though. So it's a high goal. When it can be completed, we don't know. I mean, but it is a priority for a lot of people on our team. All right, and we're going to go ahead and end it. We did a couple more than 2 questions. Any sort of matchmaking then?
Most likely not.
Yeah, in fact, we're going to be removing the option from the menu temporarily. That doesn't mean it won't be coming back for
organized
play. But as of right now, it doesn't really work very well, and we want to make sure that people don't misunderstand the experience in that context. So I want to take an opportunity to say thank you very much.
Final note.
Yes.
School is a lot of work this patch into making the game more translatable. So you'll be noticing that a lot next patch.
And we're still looking, I believe, for people to help finish up some of the translations that are still out there. And you can look at the forums for that. I think we've got German completely done now, don't we?
If it's not completely done, it's really close.
It's really close.
Yeah, added support for Russian, and also really cool. I don't think it's done, but we're working on support for Chinese.
Yeah, Asian characters and stuff like that.
All right, so please, again, check out the forums. We love to get your feedback and your comments. Special thanks today to McGlaspy and Samus Droid for coming in and talking with us and explaining some of the things that Abby and I would just horribly do.
I'm going to give a quick shout out to the programming team of the CDD. So that would be FS Ford, Ghoul, Matzo, McGlaspy, Mendas, the new programmer Murray, Samus Droid, Lucas,
Remy.
who's known as Ace Dude.
Remy.
Yeah. Remy, I was getting to that. Clone Death, Remy, and Slizzard, one of the new guys as well. So big shout out to all the programmers.
Yeah, and thank you to Abraxas for being here again with us, even from the comfort of his kitchen where he's probably eating yummy food while we talk.
I am.
So thanks, guys. Remember, you can find out more about the NS2 community development team and the future of NS2 by following us on Twitter at NS2CDT. And don't forget, you can also view our public Trello page by visiting Trello.com and looking for the NS2 development tracker. I'm going to go ahead and put that in the chat one more time for you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Wasabi1, and this has been CLOGCAST Community Development Q&A. We'll see you next time.
Bye.
Later.